Cotswold Way adventure officially begins with us in Chipping Campden, making our way today to Winchcombe, which should be 5 hours and 14 minutes according to the map, but let me guarantee you, 31 kilometers later, it did not take us 5 hours. So let's get into it. Last week we left you as we were on the city bus, and there it goes. It had dropped us off in Chipping Campden. I just got off the bus and stood there, and this place was like a fairy tale. And the bus driver actually stopped to ask Wesley and make sure we were in the right spot before he left us and drove away. Super kind. So we went into the Campden Market. So it was built in 1627. The markets are still held there. It was a real hub of the Cotswolds because there was so much wool money coming through. They were using it to build the churches, which you will see plenty of incredible spaces through this video. Just wool and money and this yellow kind of limestone. Super, super neat. It was just like breathtaking being in this fairy tale setting. Wesley, the beginning, 100 miles to Bath. Are you ready?
So ready.
Welcome to our accommodations, the Volunteer Inn. This was our first place that we stayed officially in the Cotswolds, and it was very cool. It was exactly what I thought I would be getting when I was staying above a pub. So on the left, there was a pub that served chips and beer, and it was awesome. There was also a restaurant in here and then a courtyard in the very back. It was really beautiful, and our room is actually just right here and up to the right. It was the perfect location. It felt super authentic when it was like 11 p.m. and there were a bunch of people just kind of hanging out in that open space that was just under our room, which was so neat. In the morning, they were actually pulling kegs of beer out of the cellar. Very loud, but very, very cool experience. Are you so excited? It was delicious. We are starting. This is our actual first day of the adventure, even though we've been carrying these bags, which seem kind of massive for the last 3 days, 4 days. It feels like forever. I don't know, 3 or 4 days. Wes?
I can't remember.
All right. We think they're about 30 pounds, but we didn't weigh them because I feel like the actual knowledge would just make them heavier. So now just living in ambiguity, it's just like, yeah, they're kind of heavy. What are you gonna do though? All right, let the 100-mile walk begin. Okay, we are 37 seconds into this walk, and it's like exclusively uphill, which I did not know because I think it's the one part at Cotswold, one part I'm not blanking on because I'm dying, means hill. So, I mean, that checks out. Wesley's not struggling. I'll show you Wesley. Watch on the path, it's more than just people. I dare. Wesley's thriving. Did not see this coming. We were banking on a 4-hour walk for this day, so we figured about every hour we would have a destination where we were going, like an hour or so. So the first place that we were going was the Broadway Tower, which was kind of a big deal. So we were super excited to start on this walk and start actually walking through the gates and over bridges and over things that were keeping the animals in, but people could pass through. So we walked, and then we walked, and then we walked, and we walked. Eventually, we did get to the first kind of really noteworthy place that we knew we were approaching Broadway Tower. It was very exciting, but this saga much continues. Bridge, please. You gotta see.
Look at these sheep.
Look at the tower.
Look at the tower. It's so far. Oh, it's spring loaded. Perfect.
Our first big milestone of the trip, Broadway Tower. It is a 4-story hexagonal structure with turrets, battlements, and gargoyles built in the 18th century. Very cool. Not super busy. We didn't go in, but it was very meaningful on making progress through the Cotswolds. And then onwards to our next adventure. We walked and walked and walked again. It was really interesting doing all this walking because it felt very much like we could have been at home. And then we came upon another little village that was just stunning, and we did not feel like home. This is Snowhill, the picture of the Snowhill Arms with that red phone booth. I feel is so iconic when you're looking at any kind of Cotswold content. There's not much here. You are seeing it all in this little clip. It is a church, some beautiful buildings, and a pub, and I love that. I got my local beer in a beautiful place, and then out we went and we walked. And we figured it was a 2-hour walk from here and we would reach our destination, so we walked. And then we walked some more. And a little bit more. It's stunning. It is stunning. And then we walked up some stairs. And we kept walking. And Wesley would keep turning the camera to me because I would keep pouting. And it was about at the top of these stairs that we stood there and went, oh my goodness, we just did a massive circle. We didn't make progress. We just got turned around. So the rethinking began. Hi, just checking in from the middle of absolutely nowhere. We don't know where we are, but bull in field. It's the footpath. We're following the footpath and there's just a bull in a field and we're just walking through. They weren't joking. I thought it was a joke, but we stepped up to get into the field and there's a bunch of cows and a sign that says danger, bull in field. That one doesn't say danger. The one I took a picture of before I entered does. Wesley, this is hilarious. And he's trying to talk to me like we're not. Oh my God. There he is. No, not a care in the world. There's a bull in that field. I mean, it's kind of cool in theory, but I don't want the bull. I just wanted the cows. And then I could have taken a picture and walked slowly, but I think I just made this face the whole time. But we're out. Okay, bye. The walk seemed to get longer. Everything seemed to get a little bit further away, and it was starting to get less fun. But Wesley was so good, and I rallied every time he turned the camera on to me. It was very, a reliable way to get me to stop complaining. Coming. Don't move.
Yeah. This is pretty crazy.
At this point, if you're sticking with us, you're like, wow, this is a lot of content of the same green fields and the same beautiful buildings and the same everything. And yeah, no, it totally felt that way. We were like probably at least 15 kilometers in at this point and just going like, are we ever going to get there? But it's really cool because you do have different permissions here than we're used to at home, where you're walking through farmers' fields. You're following the footpaths, which are very different than bridle paths that we might address in a later video. And you're just walking with the sheep, and there's cows and there's bulls from My Little Meltdown. And it's just incredible, truly, that you get to experience all of this. So we walked some more, and then we walked a little bit more. We saw some horses, which we had to try to coax away from the gate. Mind you, this is still day one, and we had been so excited to cross over these really well thought out obstacles for the animals, but were created for the humans to be able to pass through. And I was so over it on day one. I was struggling to get over. My feet were so tired, but we kept going.
Let's go down this little... What? What happened? Are we supposed to go that way?
Well, I guess we can take whatever cut this is. Maybe this is a shortcut. Stanton! No way.
This is Stanton?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go to Stanton.
I didn't think that was in the cards today.
Wow.
That's cool. We didn't catch it, but we stepped into this graveyard and the bell started tolling in the church and we almost jumped out of our skin. We were like, I can't believe we didn't catch that. Me neither. I was like, can I call Lindsay and show her? And then the bell stopped because it only rings as many times as the time was. And it was not that late in the day, but it was an adventure.
Yeah.
Well, maybe morale just has to be lower.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. All right. Up and down. These trees are crazy. They're huge. How big are those trees, Ashley?
Yeah, not small. We're just going to take a little bit of a pause here to catch you up, but this is about maybe a kilometer before I found a bench, sat down, and started crying because we were still about a mile out. So I am switching between kilometers and miles pretty fluidly in this, but you know what? That's just the context we were working on. And Wesley started laughing with me, but then he found out I was actually sobbing into my backpack. So, you know, we made it, but the adventure never stopped. We're on hour like 8 or 9 now, and I'm a suck, and there you go, Wesley's carrying my bag. Oh boy, what a day it has been. Really, at the end of the day, we had had a great time, and we were just posing for the picture so we could have the memory of like, wow, this was a day. 31 kilometers, 42,000 steps, a trip to the grocery store, an angry clerk because we didn't put the stuff in the order that she wanted, and an entire box of drumsticks later. The day was almost over, but that is day one, so we are so excited to take you along. Most days don't actually end up being this long, so we're gonna start grouping them together, but this is definitely a laugh, and we had a great time living through the memories as we assembled this video. So we will see you next week.